Criteria for selecting a sampling procedure. Introduction. When selecting a sampling procedure, researchers must consider several factors to ensure that the sample is representative of the population and the study's research questions. Here are some criteria to consider when selecting a sampling procedure. Population size. The size of the population under study is an essential factor in selecting a sampling procedure. If the population is small, a census may be appropriate, while larger populations may require a sampling technique. Sampling frame. A sampling frame is a list of individuals or items from which a sample will be selected. The sampling procedure must ensure that the sampling frame is comprehensive and includes all individuals or items in the population. Sampling method. There are two main types of sampling methods: probability and non-probability. Probability sampling methods are more representative of the population and are preferred for statistical analyses. Sampling error. Sampling error refers to the degree to which the sample differs from the population. Researchers must choose a sampling procedure that minimizes sampling error. Time and cost. Researchers must consider the time and cost required to implement the sampling procedure. Some sampling techniques, such as random sampling, can be time-consuming and expensive, while others, such as convenience sampling, may be quicker and more cost-effective. Research objectives. The research objectives and questions will guide the selection of a sampling procedure. For example, if the research question requires a representative sample, probability sampling methods may be more appropriate. Ethics. Ethical considerations should also be taken into account when selecting a sampling procedure. The sampling method should not discriminate against any population group, and participants must give informed consent to participate in the study. Characteristics of a good sample design. Introduction. A good sample design is essential for any research study, as it ensures that the sample is representative of the population and provides reliable and valid results. The following are some characteristics of a good sample design. Sample size. The sample size must be appropriate to ensure that the study's findings are statistically significant and representative of the population. As per the Quran, Allah says in Surah Al-Ma'idah, 5-6, "O you who have believed, when you rise to perform prayer, wash your faces and your forearms to the elbows and wipe over your heads and wash your feet to the ankles." This verse highlights the importance of completeness and thoroughness, which also applies to the sample size in research. Sampling method. The sampling method used must be appropriate for the research question and provide a representative sample. Quran states in Surah Al-Mujadilah, 58:11, "O you who have believed, when you are told, space yourselves in assemblies, then make space, Allah will make space for you." This verse highlights the importance of proper spacing, which can also be applied to the sampling method used in research. Adequate spacing or selection method will ensure that the sample is representative and includes all population groups. Sampling frame. The sampling frame must be comprehensive and include all individuals or items in the population under study. As per Hadith, Prophet Muhammad, PBUH, said, "The example of the believers in their affection, mercy, and compassion for each other is that of a body. When any limb aches, the whole body reacts with sleeplessness and fever." This hadith highlights the importance of inclusivity, which also applies to the sampling frame in research. All individuals or items in the population must be included in the sampling frame to ensure a representative sample. Sampling error. The sampling error must be minimized to ensure that the study's findings are reliable and valid. As per the Quran, Allah says in Surah Al-Hujurat, 49:11, "O you who have believed, let not a people ridicule another people, perhaps they may be better than them." This verse highlights the importance of avoiding bias and ensuring that all population groups are represented equally, which can help minimize sampling error in research. Research objectives. The sample design must be appropriate for the research objectives and questions. Quran states in Surah Al-An'am, 6-116, "And if you obey most of those upon the earth, they will mislead you from the way of Allah. They follow not except assumption, and they are not but falsifying." This verse highlights the importance of following the right path, which also applies to research objectives. Choosing the right sample design can ensure that the research objectives are achieved, and the study's findings are reliable and valid. Conclusion. In conclusion, a good sample design is crucial for any research study. The sample size, sampling method, sampling frame, sampling error, and research objectives are all important considerations when selecting a sample design. As per the Quran and Hadith, the principles of completeness, inclusivity, proper spacing or selection method, avoiding bias, and following the right path are also applicable in the context of sample design. Researchers must ensure that the sample design is appropriate and representative to ensure reliable and valid results. References.